Welcome back, friends, to Max Q Barbecue. My name is Craig, and this is Season 3, Episode 12. In this episode, we're continuing with our Clean Out the Freezer theme. We have in front of us a couple of bags of rib tips. Now, these rib tips were saved from barbecue camp and were cut off. We didn't have time to cook them at barbecue camp, and a lot of the folks didn't want to bring them home. So I ended up with about 20 pounds of rib skirts and rib tips. Now, the skirt is actually a portion of the rib where it attaches to the diaphragm, and it forms a nice little skirt of rib meat. Yesterday or last week, we worked on some sausage that we were making out of the boneless rib skirts. But these are the rib tips. They have pieces of bone in them. A lot of it is the part of the rib where the rib connects to the sternum or the breastbone. A lot of it's cartilage, but it's very, very tender meat. So today we're going to try out a number of different recipes and different rubs. We have our salt and pepper. We have here our Cowtown Squeal Hog Rub. So we're looking to try that out. We're also going to go with a little bit of some apple seasoning here. This is Lane's homemade apple pie rib seasoning. We got another Applewood smoked barbecue seasoning, another apple, and we're gonna make up a few of them with a little bit of some sweet Georgia heat. So stick around, we're gonna get these ribs prepped, we're gonna get them seasoned, and we're gonna get them on the pit and smoke them this morning. We have our rib tips laid out here on our seasoning tray. You might remember that during barbecue camp, we actually did St. Louis style rib cuts, and we started with a whole spare rib. And what you remember from that is we cut off the rib tip portions of the ribs, which are what I have in front of me. So we're gonna salvage those and actually turn those into some delicious bites that we can serve. A lot of restaurants serve these as specialty dishes or appetizers, but this is just gonna be part of my regular eating meal. So let's get these things seasoned up. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with some salt and pepper. Got our salt here, and just they're already cleaned, by the way. We cleaned them and took off the silver skin and everything during the barbecue camp. Okay, we've got them all salt and peppered, so let's start with our squeal. Let's see, we've got 4 different flavor profiles, 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're gonna do 2, 2, and 2. So we're gonna start these with the squeal. Next one we're gonna do is our apple pie. Piece of the apple pie. Ooh, you can smell that sweetness coming off of that apple pie. Woo, that is awesome. We'll try to keep everything in this order. Next, we're gonna go with our Applewood smoked barbecue seasoning. Also another apple. I like apple, especially on pork, especially on my ribs. Well, look at the difference in colors here between the 3 seasonings. And we're gonna wrap up our flavor profile with our sweet Georgia heat here on this set of ribs. Okay, there you have it, friends. We got 8 sets of rib tips and 4 different seasonings. So let's see how they turn out. Is you back in a few? They'll be going on the pit soon. All right, friends, our pit is up to temperature, so let's get these rib tips on the pit and get them started. Ooh, that pecan smells good. So So we're going to start with our squeal. Put our squeal here. Next, we're going to go with our apple pie. This is the sweet one, remember? Then we're going to go with our Applewood. Well, that's pretty. And finally, our Georgia heat, sweet Georgia heat. Well, looking ain't cooking, so we just get this thing closed up and let her go. Just for a time check, it is now 9:15 in the morning, actually 9:18. So we want to give these a good 2 hours to cook, and then we'll check the temperatures and wrap them. Welcome back, friends. It is now 10:36 a.m. A beautiful day outside, by the way, I must add. And the rib tips have been on about an hour and a little over an hour and 45 minutes, something like that. So we're gonna check on them and see, and we're gonna rotate them around the grill, make sure they're cooking even. I'm also gonna spritz them with some water. So let's take a look and see what they look like. Oh man, look at that color. They are really coloring up nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by spritzing them, and then we're gonna rotate and flip. So we're gonna take the ones on this end, move them down here, the ones here, and move them over there. A little more spritz. Our pit temperature is currently running about 250 degrees, which is exactly what we want. So we're going to close that down and let her rip. All right, see you back in an hour or so. Probably in about an hour and a half or so, we'll be ready to pull them off and wrap them in aluminum foil. Welcome back, friends. I hope this camera angle works. It's a little windy out here, so I'm having a little trouble stabilizing the camera. Got some sandbags there on the tripod. Anyway, it is now 11:40 on our clock. So that means we started at 9:15. So that's what, 10, 11. So it's now almost 2.5 hours. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our ribs off, and we're going to wrap them in our aluminum foil, put them back on the pit. Pit temperature is running pretty nice, at around 225 to 250. So let's get this going, and then we'll stoke the fire. Alrighty. Right now, at the top left or top right corner is Smoky Mountain Smokers Applewood seasoning. So we're gonna grab those two rib tips. Sorry, thinking and acting at the same time happens to put me in trouble there. So there's the rib tips. Boy, they look beautiful. We're gonna lay them on our aluminum foil. This is the companion. That nice bark. So our process at this point is we're going to add a little seasoning to them, spritz them down with some water. I had this honey in a bit of a water bath so that it would soften up for me. I'll go ahead and flip these tips over so I catch the other side. Kind of flip. More of our Applewood seasoning. A little more honey. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to take 2 layers of our aluminum foil here. Make these fit together a little bit better. there you have it. There's our Applewood, so I'm gonna put those right back there. And we're gonna go ahead and do the other three. See you back in a minute. Got our rib tips wrapped and put up. Remember, we have our squeal, our apple pie, our Applewood smoked, and our sweet Georgia heat. So that's our sequence in order. Alrighty, we'll see you back. Alrighty, for those who want to know what we're doing with the fire, since this morning, it's the first time we tended it, I added a little bit of some lump charcoal and a couple more pecan splits over the top for the flavor. And that will ignite and it'll get us back up. We'll probably try to run around 275. Welcome back, friends. It is now just a few minutes before 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Our ribs have been on for quite a while, I guess going almost on 4.5 hours. I'm going to take some quick temperature checks on the ribs, but I believe they should be about ready to come off. So we're going to drop a probe in here, and our temperatures are showing right at 200 degrees, so they are ready to come off. So we're going to take those off and bring those inside, and then we'll let them cool off a little bit and we'll sample them. So see you on the inside. All right, friends, we're back in the Max Q barbecue kitchen. We're starting out with our Wicked Q Sweet Georgia heat. Wicked Q Sweet Georgia heat. We're going to cut off a little rib tip here and test this thing out and see how it is. I'm going to bring this over here and let you see how pretty. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Man, that meat's got just a beautiful smoke ring around it. Nice bark on it, nice dry. I don't have any sauce. I didn't put any glazes on here. So these are all dry ribs today, but certainly if you want, you can take and put some glazes on them, or you can put some barbecue sauce on them, but we're going just straight up so we can see what the flavor's like. Now this is Wicked Q Sweet Georgia heat. Not too bad, you know, it's not like it's gonna be painful or anything like that with the seasoning, but it's just got that little bit of heat that comes on at the end there. Other than that, it's absolutely delicious. These rib tips are just amazing pieces of meat. I'm gonna finish this one up because it is really good. Then we're gonna have to dig into the others and test them. Next up is our Lane's Bethlehem, Georgia homemade apple pie. Also nice smoke ring, nice color. A little bit of the sternum in that bone there. Again, let's try these out. I hate to say it, those people that didn't want to cook these, they were certainly left out of a really great treat. And I know that's why a lot of restaurants serve these as appetizers. Just a little bit of finger food just to get your appetite going. But boy, they're delicious, lots of flavor in every bite. Also finger licking good. Doesn't have that little bit of bite like the Sweet Georgia heat. Definitely a lot sweeter flavor, and got that apple overtone to it. All right, this is Smoky Mountain Smokers Applewood Smoke, and so let's dig into this one and see what this one tastes like. Take off a little piece here, cut down through our rib tip. Also, nicely cooked, just like our others. Got a nice smoke ring on there. Look at that. Look at that. Look how juicy. Oh my God. My fingers. I've been licking on them. This might have a little kick to it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Going on with the apple, that sweetness of the apple. Of course, all of these, we put a little bit of honey in our tent when we wrapped them in foil, so they all have a little bit of a honey glaze to them. Oh man. I'd serve those in any restaurant right there. I think that would bring them back. There you go. And since these are rib tips, all they are is cartilage left. I want to dig in and go in some more for that, but we got to try the last one. Our last rub is the Kansas City Cowtown, the Squeal. Great on anything, hog rub, great on chicken too. Well, let's check it out and see what we think. Now this particular rib tip has a little bit of the sternum on here, a little bit of bones, so I'm gonna cut it right along here, just by the edge of that bone. And you got a little bit of drawback, 2 pieces of bone where it pulls away from the cartilage. And like the others, very juicy. And lots of juice, lots of meat. Let's see what other deliciousness somebody left behind at barbecue camp. Big, flavorful bite. Oh my God. Tender. Just holds on, just pulls away when you bite it. Full of juice. Very juicy. And that Cowtown has just a little bit of some cayenne in it. You can tell it's got a little bit of extra kick going on there at the end. Oh, so delicious. Just a great simple rub. I wouldn't say simple, but great flavorful rub. Give you that Kansas City barbecue flavor. Let's see if I can get between that cartilage there. Yep, gotta get all that meat out. Well, there you have it, folks. 4 different rubs, all of them cooked absolutely to perfection. Our technique today was 2 hours of direct smoke, maybe 2.5 hours of direct smoke, and 2 hours wrapped, where we added a little more of the rub to it and wrapped it in foil. That 2 hours of wrapping in the foil and adding a little bit of moisture to it is really a great tenderizing stage. Remember, that's where that reaction occurs, where the collagen starts to break down and the meat really becomes tender. So I hope you enjoyed our video today. The weather outside was amazing and the rib tips were amazing. I've got the vacuum bagger out. I'm gonna start cutting these up and vacuum bagging them, stabbing them in the freezer, because that's what I eat for lunch just about every day. Take some of these ribs out, put it over some rice, take some of them out, put over some broccoli, or put with some spinach. There's all kind of different vegetables that I like to eat with it. But boy, it's always great to have a nice juicy piece of meat to go along with your lunch. And you put in this much work making your barbecue, you might as well take a little bit of time to eat it over a couple of week period of time, so you can remind yourself how good it is to get out there and spend those hours by that pit preparing that barbecue. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.